Hiya, it's Vishali. I am here at Stamford Bridge on Boxing Day for Chelsea's game against Brighton. You can see behind me the players are warming up. I've got the team news. So the big news for Chelsea fans is that top scorer Alvaro Morata is back from suspension to lead the line for Chelsea in what is a 3-5-2 formation. So if you remember, Antonio Conte used a 3-4-3 against Everton at the weekend, but he didn't have Morata available, of course, because he was suspended after picking up his fifth yellow card of the season. So Morata is back, and so Conte has changed his formation. It means Hazard is playing just off him up front. Fabregas is back in the starting lineup. He's next to Bakayoko and Kante, but there's now Andreas Christensen in the squad. Now we're not sure why that is. I'm sure we'll find out from Conte later on to see what's wrong with him. He's not in the squad, but that means that Rudiger plays next to Cahill and Azpilicueta. Yeah, so it's a 3-5-2 formation. Let's see if they can get all 3 points. They couldn't get all 3 points against Everton. They were so tough to break down. Let's see if it's a bit of a different story against the Brighton side, who won on Saturday their first win in 8 games against Watford. Right guys, so it's half time and it's still goalless between Chelsea and Brighton. Brighton started off the game really well, but Chelsea have undoubtedly dominated the possession, the chances, they've had the better of the chances, but they just haven't finished those opportunities in front of goal. Bakayoko came the closest. Fabregas sent the ball in from the right to Antonio Rudiger at the far post. He headed the ball downwards, and Bakayoko was literally a few yards in front of goal, and all he had to do was tap the ball in, but somehow drove it wide. Much to Chelsea fans' disbelief and Conte's disbelief here. There have been other chances. I mean, Moses forced Ryan into a save. Fabregas saw Ryan make a save as well. But Brighton are sitting back, they're absorbing Chelsea's pressure, and they're kind of doing what Everton did on Saturday. They're just kind of sitting back, defending well enough. Chelsea are finding it hard to break through that defence, so let's see whether or not they can find a way past Brighton's defence and their goalkeeper in the second half. So it's ended 2-0 to Chelsea here against Brighton. The Blues came out a completely different side in the second half. It took them just a minute to find the opener, and that came through Alvaro Morata. It was a carbon copy of the goal against Manchester United here back in November. It was a cross from Azpilicueta that Morata headed past Ryan to make it 1-0, and then Marcos Alonso, he got the second goal of the afternoon with his header. It was actually third time lucky for him because he saw his free kick first saved by Ryan. He then saw a header saved, but then he found the space to head home. I think it was Cesc Fabregas' corner to make it 2-0. Chelsea really dominated the rest of the game despite Brighton's late comeback. And yeah, it looked like the win was going to take them 11 points to Manchester United, who were losing to Burnley, but they actually ended up drawing 2-2. So Chelsea are just a point behind Manchester United, which is important for them going into their final game of the year, which is against Stoke City here on Saturday. I'm going to head over to the press conference to see what Antonio Conte has to say about this win. Right guys, so I've been to Antonio Conte's press conference after the win over Brighton. I'm just going to be rounding up the best bits from that press conference, and he was full of praise, unsurprisingly, for Azpilicueta and Morata's on-pitch understanding. Of course, today was the 6th time in the Premier League this season that Azpilicueta has created a goal for Morata, and he was joking, saying that Morata basically owes Azpilicueta quite a few dinners and that he would like to join in if they decide to go out for some food. He was also, unsurprisingly, full of praise for Marcos Alonso, because today was his 5th goal in the Premier League this season. He headed the ball in to make it 2-0 today. He of course got the winner against Southampton 10 days ago. And Conte basically said, as an alternative to the strikers and the forwards, Alonso is a really important player in being able to score goals for Chelsea, and he wants him to continue in that vein. He also confirmed that Andreas Christensen is ill, and that's why he wasn't in the matchday squad today, but we don't know if he's going to be back for the game against Stoke. Let's see. And then he was asked about links and rumours about Chelsea and Arturo Vidal, because there was a report that came out in Chile, I think it was today or yesterday, linking the midfielder to Chelsea. And all Conte would say, he refused to actually comment on the speculation, but he did praise the midfielder as a fantastic player and said that if I want to go to war with anyone, he's the kind of player I'd always want with me. So next up for Chelsea and for me is a home game here against Stoke on Saturday. So expect another vlog then.